Stanley Black & Decker's CEO went on camera and admitted that Craftsman tools had migrated from made in America to virtually everything being made in China and Mexico. He said that in a recorded interview. And then the company spent $90 million building a factory to pretend they were fixing it. They shut that factory down 3 years later. Here's what took me too long to figure out. That wasn't one company slipping up. 7 brands on this list built their entire reputation on being American. Red, white, and blue packaging, heritage language on the website, factory workers in the marketing photos, and behind all of it, container ships from Shenzhen. Same playbook, different logo on the box. By the end of this video, you'll know the 7 brands faking it, the 3 that genuinely still manufacture here, and the 1 federal rule that explains how they've been getting away with it for years. Let's go. Number 7. Craftsman. Your dad had a set. Your grandfather probably did too. Those old tools were forged in American factories and backed by a lifetime warranty. That meant something. Then Sears started dying and the brand got hollowed out alongside it. Stanley Black & Decker bought the name in 2017 for about $900 million. Their CEO, Jim Lurie, admitted publicly the products had been left to devolve. His words. He promised 70% would be made in America within a couple of years. So they built a $90 million plant in Fort Worth, Texas, designed for 500 workers, supposed to make 10 million wrenches a year. In March 2023, they shut it down. 175 jobs gone. The factory never hit half its headcount target. I spent way too long on tool forums checking current Craftsman sockets and wrenches. Most of them say Taiwan or China on the label. The packaging now reads, "Select products proudly made in the USA with global materials." That's number 7. We haven't started yet. If you're watching this and realizing you can't even trust the label on the box anymore, I get it. I got tired of watching people get burned. So I put the No BS Buyer's Vault together. Every major model ranked by the specs that actually matter, not the branding. Scan the QR code on screen or check the link in the description and pinned comment. Number 6. Stanley. And I need to be specific, because this confuses people. This is not Stanley Black & Decker, the tool company. This is Stanley 1913, the thermos company. Completely separate business. William Stanley Jr. patented the all-steel vacuum bottle in Massachusetts in 1913. That bottle went to job sites and deer camps for generations. In 2002, a Seattle company called Pacific Market International bought the brand and moved everything to China. Today, roughly 99% of Stanley drinkware is manufactured in Chinese factories. That includes the quencher tumbler your wife probably has 3 of on the counter. Revenue went from $73 million in 2019 to over $750 million by 2023, all on Chinese product. In 2024, they recalled 2.4 million mugs after lids detached and burned people. That's not heritage. That's a licensing deal with a flag on it. Number 5. Schwinn, founded in Chicago in 1895. At peak, 2,000 workers building American bicycles. By 92, bankruptcy, sold for $2.5 million. The brand bounced through a Canadian conglomerate and then a Dutch holding company. Every Schwinn at Walmart or Target right now is made in China or Taiwan. The Chicago factory is gone. The name is still printing money. If you've made it this far, you already know this channel goes deeper than the surface. Hit subscribe, because we do this every single week, and the list never gets shorter. Number 4. Black & Decker. Here's where it gets interesting, because this connects back to an earlier entry. Black & Decker is owned by Stanley Black & Decker, same parent company as Craftsman. $15.4 billion in combined annual revenue. Starting in 2002, Black & Decker ran a 3-year restructuring that cut 5,200 American manufacturing jobs and replaced them with 4,500 positions in Mexico, China, and the Czech Republic. 2 brands on this list. Same parent. Same decision to chase the margin overseas. Different sticker on the box. Drop which one surprised you in the comments. Number 3. Levi's. Possibly the most American brand that has ever existed. Patented the blue jean. Peaked at $7.1 billion in revenue in 1906. By 2003, they closed their last 2 sewing plants in San Antonio. 800 workers gone. Those plants have been stitching 4 million pairs of 501s a year. Today, Levi's manufactures in Bangladesh, Vietnam, China, and Pakistan. You can still buy Levi's vintage clothing made in the USA for north of $300 a pair. The 501s at the mall have been imports for over 20 years. Number 2. Carhartt, the Detroit workwear brand every tradesman swears by. Still family-owned, technically, but in 1997, Carhartt opened its first factory in Mexico. By 2003, 4 Mexican plants, 2,000 workers. Those facilities closed in 2023. But production didn't come home. It moved to Vietnam, Bangladesh, India, and Cambodia. 84 manufacturing partners, 17 locations in Vietnam alone. The remaining American plants in Kentucky and Tennessee handle a fraction of total output. And number 1. This is the one that stops you. Pyrex. In 2023, the FTC ordered Pyrex's parent company to stop making deceptive Made in USA claims. They'd sold over 110,000 glass measuring cup sets made in China while advertising Made in USA heritage and American as apple pie, real marketing phrases. Chinese factory. The FTC sent $88,000 in refund checks to consumers who got lied to. Then the parent company filed for bankruptcy. They ran an American pride campaign on a Chinese import, got caught, got fined, and collapsed. Sit with that for a second. That's the list. And I'll be honest, the point was never to leave you standing in the aisle with no options. It was to hand you the information they didn't want you to connect. So here's the other side. 3 brands made the cut, that's it. Because real domestic manufacturing at this scale is actually that rare. Number 3, Lodge Cast Iron, South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. Population 3,000, Lodge has poured cast iron there since 1896. 130 years, 400 workers. 5th generation family ownership. In 2021, they invested $56 million to expand and add 239 jobs. Seasoned cast iron is 100% American-made. Honest caveat. The enameled line comes from China, and they tell you up front. Number 2. Channellock, Meadville, Pennsylvania. If you've ever squeezed a pair of blue-handled tongue-and-groove pliers, you've held their work. Founded 1886, still owned by the D'Armond family, 5th generation, 350 employees, forging pliers from North American 1080 high-carbon steel. 140 years and they've never moved the forge out of Crawford County. Honest caveat, some screwdrivers and adjustable wrenches come from Taiwan. But the pliers, the snips, the pry bars, all Meadville. And number 1, New Balance. 5 factories across New England, Lawrence and Brighton, Massachusetts, Norridgewock, Skowhegan, and Norway, Maine. About 1,000 workers producing 4 million pairs a year. The 990 series, the 993, the 1300. In 2025, they expanded the Skowhegan factory with a $65 million investment. Honest caveat, New Balance labels shoes made in USA when domestic value hits 70%, not 100. But nobody else in the shoe business is even close. You now know something most people grabbing tools and boots and cookware this weekend have no idea about. The gap between the worst 7 and the best 3 is the only thing you need to understand about American-made in 2026. Here's your one move. Flip the product over, read the country of origin on the actual label. Not the marketing, not the heritage story, not the flag on the cardboard, the small print on the tag. The FTC is fining companies millions for lying about exactly this. That label might be the last honest part of the package. YouTube thinks you'll like one of these 2 videos, so go ahead and tap whichever one grabs you. And if you made it all the way to the end of this one, hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.